Are you ready to say the prayer, opening prayer?
I can, but you can do it if you'd like.
Uh, I prefer you to do that. Inshallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum again, everybody. Unfortunately, Dr. Najati is traveling and won't be able to join us today. Inshallah, he will resume his position as our moderator tomorrow. He asked me to just step in today. So I'll start us off by going over what we talked about yesterday. I'm sure you guys know that the recordings are available online, and you can always go back and watch them. So yesterday we talked about the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, which is very, widely known. And Dr. Ali walked us through how we can understand this fatih, and the verse that, almost all of us are probably very, very familiar with, Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina. So some of my notes are that with this treaty, we saw that the administration of Medina was legitimized, seen as a official authority. And even though the Muslims at the time came to make an umrah and they couldn't actually do the umrah, so on the face of it, it looked like a defeat or humiliation. There was actually providential wisdom, hikmah, and Allah, through this verse and calling it an opening, showed us a pedagogical truth. So we talked about how to spread the divine message and to relay the Quranic message or the prophetic message, it's never appropriate or encouraged to use force, fighting, invasion, conquest in the standard understanding of the term, but rather to take an approach of opening the hearts and minds of people, right? So that could be approaching a community, that could be approaching our friend, our spouse. It's always the sunnah of the Prophet, what he showed us and what we see as legitimized in the Quran, that before anyone can receive guidance from Allah, their hearts and minds need to be opened in this way. So that's how we interpreted and understood fatih in this sense, even though there was no war, battle, fight, and even if, on the face of things, it looked like they came to do a pilgrimage, a volunteer pilgrimage, and they couldn't do it. The whole encounter allowed Islam to spread in the region peacefully. Another thing that we focused on towards the end was interest or usury and riba. And we talked about how the difference between trade and usury is pretty subtle, but it's about tawakkul, right? So in trade and allowing trade, where we take calculated risks, where we have the opportunity to lose or gain money or property or wealth, in that interaction, there is tawakkul, right? We do something and we trust that Allah will produce an outcome for us that is the best for us. Whereas in practicing usury or putting our money or wealth in interest, the underlying understanding is that there's a guarantee. I want guarantee from my money that it will become more. And so we looked at these verses to look at why is interest forbidden, and not in a jurisprudential manner, not in a way that's we're making a ruling, but to understand how we can read these verses to get a belief perspective, inshallah. So today we're continuing. Inshallah, I've made it a little justice to the understanding, but I'll let Dr. Ali continue, inshallah.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. You perfectly replaced Dr. Najati, if not better. But inshallah, Dr. Najati doesn't hear this. Alhamdulillah. It's a beautiful introduction, summary and introduction to the subject. Yesterday, we talked about trusting in God, side of interest and trade. Two sides. One side is trade is trusting in God, as you summarized it. Interest is trusting in your property and seeing that I'm guaranteeing my life and everything by having more and more property. That's why guaranteed increase, whereas in trade, not guaranteed increase. So taking the risk. So some people say the word risk and the Quranic word rizq has the same root. I don't know the linguistic side of it, but meaning side seems to be correct. So rizq is different from having mal, property. So rizq is acknowledging the Razzaq, the creator. Now, we will go for and study this matter from another perspective today, which is, but somehow I will say, we should have a different perspective towards the Sharia laws, as it is known in English. Sharia is, very, you have to cut the hand and hang the people and kill people if they kill somebody else. Oh, that's horrible looking. Uh, that is how the social media and also politicians present Islam to those people who are innocent, don't know what Islam is. So uh, making Islam look like devil, you know. So this propaganda is something to do with politics, but what in reality uh, is Sharia laws, the laws. We summarize it, do's and don'ts. Do this, don't do that. Okay. Why God, many people genuinely, sincerely wonder why God orders us to do something, not to do something. We look at the matter from a superficial level and say, but it is good for you. It establishes the justice, equality, and stability for the society, and you will feel you don't need, God doesn't need you to do something, but you need it. That is the very general answer. I'm not saying, and inshallah, we are going to have another perspective, but this perspective is wrong. No, a bit not satisfactory. Now, because we know that we will discuss about it later on in details, we know that something is good, something is bad. I don't need really God to tell me that. Usually people say this, especially those people who believe in God, but at the same time, for humanitarian perspective, they say, we know what is good, what is bad, and we should be honest within ourselves. Because I know it is wrong, I shouldn't do it. I know it is right that I should do, I do it. This is a very special, superficial approach to the reality. We will study this in details, but today, let's read this verse and start the discussion about the fine tunings in the wordings of the verse. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inshallah, we will be ready to listen to a new perspective, to orders and or commands, command of God. So God is ordering us to do this. why don't you leave me alone? Inshallah, we will deal as much as we can, inshallah. Bismillah.
يمحق الله الربا ويربي الصدقات والله لا يحب كل كفار أثيم.
Strange, really strange. Why? God has made interest fruitful. Riba, it means flourishing, growing. And fruitless, I'm sorry. I am sorry, it's a terrible mistake. Interest fruitless, doesn't grow. And charity fruitful, it grows. Okay? This is for somehow uh, our understanding of calculation is what? If I give you $100, make it easy, and ask you at the end of the year, you have to pay me $105. Is it increasing or decreasing? Maybe moderator can speak on behalf of the audience.
It's increasing, so it feels counterintuitive.
100 and 105. 105 is bigger than 100. God says just the opposite. And charity fruitful. If I have 100 and give $5 to charity, 2.5 for zakat, 2.5 for sadaqah. Now, how much money do I have left? 95. Yep. But says fruitful, growing. What a strange logic. But Wallahu la yuhibbu kulle kaffarin athim. What? What is it to do with it? Allah doesn't like any ungrateful evildoer. Kafar is ungrateful. Kafir, same root, but of course, kafir also is ungrateful, not to acknowledge his creator, but ungrateful to his creator. But of course, the subject is slightly different now. Why am I ungrateful? Because when I give away in charity, my property become less. And if I give it to interest, it increase. Isn't that reality? Yeah. According to the conditions of this material creation, this is the reality, correct. But God says, you are an evildoer, a theme is a sinful person, and you are ungrateful. Ungrateful to what? Ungrateful to what? No, kafar. I'm ungrateful to what? Okay. Shall we answer this question? Ungrateful to the one who provided you with this property and didn't acknowledge the purpose in giving you this property by experiencing it in this world. I gave you this property to understand that someone here has already given you freely, created you. You may say that I worked for it. Yes, you worked for it to get it. But did you work for it to create it? To give existence to it? Think about the source of existence. If you don't think about the source of existence, you appropriate the property to yourself and say that it is mine. And by doing this, what you are doing, you are losing unimaginable value source. What is that? Who is the giver? Well, if we don't acknowledge the giver, what you do, you get the property, and property is just a transient, ephemeral thing. When you die, it is finished. Whatever you have. I think that there may be a very rich man in the world last century. Where is he? Where is his property? Gone. Separate. This is fruitless, isn't it? To see that this property gives me satisfaction is fruitless. But if you are not ungrateful to the creator of the universe, how can I not be ungrateful to the creator of the universe? By acknowledging him. He provided it. Who provided the property by creating it, creating me, my need, and providing everything out there. Atmosphere is there, sunlight is there, water is free, and the earth, that earth is producing beautiful food for you, and you are benefiting from it. And just ignoring that, I harvested this is my property. What did you do? I tilled the earth, did the farming. Did you create anything? No, just a begging, asking. Somebody is going to create me. Who has two options? By itself, naturally, or by a conscious creator who organizes and creates everything perfectly. Now the argument is this. If I say it happened by itself, of course I will go into interest because everything happened by itself. It is not something to be grateful for. Now this is an important point. But just saying that I've got it, this is my property. Of course, the landlords have to be very careful. Land is mine. How many thousands of generations claim that this land is mine? The same land, same earth. How many generations of people claimed that this is mine, and he died, his children got it. They died, their grandchildren got it. And still I claim that this house is mine, this land is mine, and I am the farmer, I am the producer. Look at the language. What did you produce? I dig the earth. I till the earth. Nothing to do with production. Like putting the material, some material, entering the material into a factory, just material, unused material, metal or plastic, and other side of the factory, and what, for example, beautiful airplane comes out. I say, that is what I produced. What did you do? I put some metal. How the factory is working? Who is managing it? No, that is what I did. And also some materialist philosophers say, if I didn't put the metal and put it into the factory wouldn't be able to do that. So that is why I am the creator of the airplane. Look at how human beings' mind is so narrowed down with materialistic understanding. When you put the metal into the factory, you are praying, asking, please, the factory establisher, maker, engineer, make out of this metal an airplane for me. It is a prayer. It is a begging. It's a physical begging. When I dig the earth, till the earth, and put the seed in the earth, I am begging, please, someone, make a beautiful tree or plant or whatever for me. And if we say that and claim that this property is mine, at the end, the owner of the factory will say, what? Didn't you ask me to make an airplane out of the metal? That's what I did it. You are denying this and saying that I produced the airplane. I produced, for example, carrots. I produced apricot. What did you do? Because I poured water. Because I poured water. Where did you get the water? It was already there. Was water yours? No. Look, getting God's property, Creator's property, and changing its direction from going this way, to the land that you are cultivating, and saying that I am the producer. What a big lie. It is not only a being grateful, it is also being very arrogant against our example, owner of the factory, arrogant towards the creator of the universe. That is how the materialistic mind works. Believe me, materialistic mind is extremely simple, like childish understanding of the universe. Maybe 3 years old child can speak in this way, and we just laugh at it. He thinks that that is what he did. But after the age of 8, 9, they realize that they are not doing it. It is done by someone else, and start questioning, who is doing it? Who is doing it? Out of earth, water, sunlight, a beautiful apricot or a flower, for example, beautiful flower comes out. Why is it beautiful? I don't know. I am the flower farmer. Look at this. We have to understand that if we turn the property and claim the ownership over it, of course, we see that interest is increasing, because I think of it in terms of property. But if I acknowledge the creator, and if I say, so, my creator has given me freely, and I need this much, okay, get your need. That is what the purpose. God has prepared, created this property to satisfy the needs of people or animals or whatever. This is the purpose in the creation. So you should take your share, yes. But how about the plus? More than what you need. What plus? I couldn't.
Surplus?
No, more than what you need.
The surplus.
Surplus, yeah. Surplus. What am I going to do with it? I cannot take it to my grave. While I am giving to zakat, sadaqah, sadaqah, this word. Sadaqah means tasdeeq. It means acknowledging who the owner is. The same word, sadaqah, being loyal to the reality. Being loyal, sadiq in Arabic. Being loyal to the reality. This is not my property. This is the property of the creator of the universe, creator of humans, creator of animals. And I am confirming this by giving my surplus property to other needy ones. That is, the creator has given me more than the other person who doesn't have as much as he needs. I have to give it. That is charity. But it needs acknowledgement. When we acknowledge the creator, owner, what we do, the property is transient. I am going to use it to sustain my life. This is what my creator says. I created you the means of nourishment. Use it and don't kill yourself out of hunger. That is the Sharia. Committing suicide, killing yourself consciously, deliberately, is command of Sharia. Not to do that. Look at the Sharia. How harsh is it? Not to kill yourself. Benefit from what I have created, provided for you. That is the command of Sharia. Hard order. So you see, that's how it is presented when they don't understand the spirit of Sharia rules. So when I am loyal to the reality and accept that property is transient. But the key point, my friends, extremely careful. Property is transient, but the owner of the property is eternal. This verse is telling me, don't lose eternal source for a transient, petty considerations. Be honest to the reality of creation. Let me read this context where how this verse revealed and in which conditions this was revealed, and then I'll leave the mic to the moderator. Now, context. Pre-Islamic Mecca was a thriving commercial hub dominated by wealthy merchants who profited heavily from interest-based lending, a riba. The poor and indebted were trapped in cycles of exploitation. That was historical reality. The historians tell us this. These verses were revealed into that precise social reality, sorry. Now, within this reality, banning riba condemned hoarding and mandating zakat. Now, here we are, the key insight. Qur'an doesn't merely offer spiritual consolation. It restructures the economic order by naming specific sins of the ruling class and of those who have the opportunities, like dishonest professionals or merchants, businessmen, those who exploit people's weak points by using, nowadays, of course, we will bring it, advertisers, monks, seemingly pious people. Monk means seemingly pious. So fake religious authorities, etc. So my notes, I'll finish my notes. Interest, fruitless. When you die, everything everything you gain leaves you behind. Charity, zakat, sadaqah, depending on the proportion, fruitless. We discussed about this. Condition is يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ. Now we will see it. Seeking God's countenance. Property is perishable, but the owner of the property is eternal. So what we will do, while we are giving zakat, while we are giving to charity, we have to be conscious that I am experiencing how my God treats everything in the world, in this creation, generously, creates everything freely, and asks only acknowledgement. That don't, if you don't acknowledge, you lose it, because you lose the source and eternity in it. So acknowledge the eternal creator, so that when the property, when you die, the property will go, and it is so difficult to leave the property behind and have nothing at the end. But if you accept that the owner, the creator of the property is eternal, your spirit needs eternity. It means your spirit doesn't lose his hope that my creator is eternal. If he gave me this sense of satisfaction eternally, definitely he will provide it. That is what the ayahs say. It is different from just reading it from translation. I don't know what. Did I make sense?
Jazakallah khair. So I'll summarize what I understood. The ayah says usury is fruitless, interest, and charity is fruitful. And in the same ayah, we get this warning that Allah does not like any ungrateful evildoer. So just on the surface, it seems like these two things should be connected.
Yeah.
And initially we talked about how it feels a bit counterintuitive, because when I put my money in interest, it looks like I'm getting more. And when I give away in charity, it looks like my wealth is decreasing. So how is it that the one that's making me more money is fruitless and the one that's losing me money is fruitful? So initially what I understood to be essential is that to get to this understanding that you presented, I need to first let go of the idea that whatever wealth or property I have, it's mine. I worked for it, so I can claim ownership of it. So the first thing I have to do is positioning myself correctly. Is it truly mine? Can I really claim ownership of it? Because I worked, because I put some effort in. When I'm farming, gardening, planting, or going to work, doing all these things, it looks like I'm doing stuff. So it's only natural, it's only understandable that the money I make or the harvest that I get, it should be mine. It should be, I should be able to do with it however I please. But the first thing that I have to do here then is truly question if that's the case, right? So we said, am I the source of existence, or am I just making a sort of physical dua, right? Physical asking for a result after I do my little part in it. I recently started planting some things in my kitchen, and I experienced this because I got this, seed packet, and I got the growing lights and the water, everything is ready. And once I watered it, I realized I'm so helpless, actually. I don't know what's going on in there. Once I put the water on the seed and I put on the lights, there is no guarantee that they're actually going to sprout. And when they started sprouting, I was very happy. But just taking some time to think about the process made me realize it's totally out of my control. I'm not the source of existence for this little plant. So first, to understand this verse and to put it in my life, I have to kind of be truthful, be honest about my role in what I'm doing. And that's kind of connected to how we understood sadaqah, right? So it's coming from that root, sidq, truthfulness, tasdeeq. So what am I really confirming? What am I acknowledging? And we said, okay, in giving charity, in giving away what has been given to me, because I'm not the one creating it, I'm totally at the mercy of the source of existence, of my creator, then I'm being truthful to that reality. I'm being loyal to the reality you said. So I really like that. So me giving charity is then tasdeeq of that, which is someone gave this to me and I have more than I need. So the one who's giving to me wants me to give so that I can be a channel for that giving as well. It's also an opportunity for us. And once I connect with the eternal source of giving, eternal source of existence, what can be more fruitful than that, right? It's not some money, wealth that's going to stay here and that can't come with me once I die. But instead of that, I'm connected to the life giver, to the provider, to the eternal source. In that case, even when I die, I feel content. Even when I give away, I feel that it's fruitful, inshallah. That's what I understood.
MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. I'm very happy to hear that my scattered presentation and speech is just wrapped up in a beautiful way. Thank you very much. A beautiful summary. I think we having to listen to this ayah, the second ayah, consolidates what we have been talking.
وما آتيتم من ربا ليربو في أموال الناس فلا يربو عند الله وما آتيتم من زكاة تريدون وجه الله فأولئك هم المضعفون.
It is important, yeah. Whatever you lend out in usury to gain value through other people's wealth. Sorry. We're not seeking God's countenance.
I think part of it is cut out.
I think the translation is missing something. So, okay. Gain value through other people's wealth will not increase. فلا يربو عند الله. فلا يربو عند الله. In the eye of Allah, let's say. In reality, it means. In reality. Yeah. وَمَا آتَيْتُم مِّن زَكَاةٍ. Whatever you give to zakat, this the Sharia rule again. Huh? I love this word, Sharia commands, zakat. So, من زكاة تريدون وجه الله. Seeking, there's a missing point, you see. Now, I don't know, I must have messed up there. Seeking God's countenance, wajh Allah. Well, of course, it is difficult to understand at first what it means. Now, we'll earn multiple rewards. Like a humul, yeah, humul مضاعفون, multiplying, مضاعف. So, what does it mean? I think what we have to talk a bit about God's countenance, which Allah. Yani, what we say, Jazakallahu khair, is very famous among Muslim community. Jazakumullah, Jazakallah khair, brother, Jazakallah khair, sister, Jazakillahu khair, sister. What do we mean? What do we mean? May Allah reward you, give you. But which Allah, that's correct, no, it's not wrong, but which Allah means Allah's countenance. Literal means face, for the sake of. That is usually understood. I gave this for the sake of God. What does it mean? For the sake of God. It means I'm not going to expect anything to give me back. I gave it for the sake of God. But what does it mean? For the sake of God. This verse explains, يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ. Now, we have to think about it. The wajh means, in fact, wajh means, literal means in the dictionary face, but aspect of it. Now, I would understand this word, wajhallah, the aspect of the property of anything which shows, demonstrates, reflects its creator, acknowledging this aspect of the property. So when I give something to a needy one, I say, I gave it to you for the sake of Allah. But I should be very conscious of what I am doing. I am acknowledging the order of the property of the owner of this property. Sorry, I am acknowledging the owner of this property. This property demonstrates that it is not created by me. It is not created by accidents, random happenings, naturally happened to be. It is created by the Lord of the universe, Rabbul Alamin. I am practicing this belief by giving it as God gave me freely. I am giving it to the needy ones who are created in need of it by the same creator. So it is an order for me to give it to the one who needs it. For example, sometimes we inevitably obey the order. For example, a mother. Is it possible for a mother to ignore the baby and leave it? Yeah. How many court cases? Is it possible?
Usually not. I mean, it's
There are exceptional psychological problems. These are exceptional cases. From the way we are created, is impossible. There are many, many cases in the court claiming I'm going to be the protector. No, they don't say protector.
guardian.
A guardian of the child. The other one says, no, I'm going to have it. They are separated or divorced. They are fighting. I am going to take this baby. The other one says, no, I'm going to take this baby. It is how we are created. Whether you are a believer or not, you do it. Yeah. Do you think the deniers of creator, and saying that these people claim that everything is naturally happened, so I had naturally a baby. It's just naturally went, accident. So leave it or take it. I mean, it's accident anyway. Something happened accidentally. They don't say this. They don't do that. They are created in such a tight connection with the baby, they have to take care of it. So that is something we've got to do it. We don't need to see God's countenance there. But where we need where we need God's countenance is when we are free to choose. This is my property. I can give it or I cannot give it. It is the claim. So in this case, if I choose to take the property and say that this doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the creator of the universe. So in acknowledgement of him, I am giving it to you. For the sake of God means I am practicing my belief, my realization that this property doesn't belong to me. So you are not taking this property from me. It belongs to its owner, and its owner had already given me the sense to share it, practice. This is an opportunity for me to practice that my creator is generous, generously, freely gave it to me. It is a trust for me, and I have to be loyal to the trust and give it to the needy ones. Like the postman, there is no difference between a tree and the fruit on its branches and my giving to charity. The tree is not the producer of the fruit. Who is the producer of the fruit? The one who created the tree is the creator of the fruit as well. The wood tree cannot produce the water, the fruit. So I am like a tree. This is the fruit created by my creator, giving action. So I am experiencing this now by giving it. Thank you for accepting it rather than expecting thanks from him. No, thank you for accepting it. You know, if you don't pick up the fruit from the branches of the tree, then the fruit drops, rots there. Do you think if the tree was conscious, will be happy that I I am employed to produce this fruit and it is wasted. These people are wasting my property because it is created for the purpose of to be a source of nourishment for the needy ones. You know, sometimes uh, in order to what this capitalist system do, in order to keep the prices up, they were really throwing the weeds into the sea. Why? Because surplus production was the reason to reduce the price. This is really the unacceptable inhuman behavior, ungratefulness, because they don't see the God's countenance, the aspect of the creation which witnesses the qualities of its creator. That is how we should read the Quran, so that it really satisfies. I don't know, when I read the Quran in this way from a belief perspective, not what God ordered us to do this. I've got to do it. You have no choice. This is not what the Quran is teaching. Unfortunately, Quran is gharib. Gharib. Ah, okay. I think we covered this. We are here. Summary. I will read the summary and leave the mic to you. Interest riba, exploiting the vulnerabilities of those in need. Now, for one's own personal gain, if you do this, the Quran declares that that your gains are fruitless. Yeah. What is fruitless in terms of the teachings of the Quran? What does it mean, fruitless? If you trust your property to give you satisfaction, be careful it doesn't produce any benefit for you and doesn't last at all. When you die, you will lose all of them totally and eternally. Can I ask a question? Now, since the mics are muted, that's on crowded, so it is the best way to do it. Not because we don't trust the attendees, but they may, one person, it's possibility. Not everybody is 100% perfect. So I'll ask you, if you have a purse, in it, let's say, $1 million, and you lost it, dropped it on the way, what do you do? Ignore it or go back and search for it?
Immediately call the police, retrace my steps.
Yeah. Yeah. Once, let alone $1 million, once I dropped, but it was in my pocket as I was getting out of the house, $5. And I was going to the masjid. That's the reality. And because I was going to buy something on the way back from the masjid, something, there is no need to mention the item name. And I realized there's no money, panicked and went back. If I dropped recently and somebody didn't pick it up. But if it is hard to accept that you lost 1 million, huh? Correct? It's hard. Now, you want to get it. But if you have, not like me, $1 or 10 cents and lose it for some reason, do you call the police?
No.
Do you go back and trace it?
No.
It is easy, isn't it, to leave? That is an amazing reality that Allah created us with. The more we have, the more difficult to leave it behind. So the richer people, always afraid of losing it when they die. So in order to escape from death, they know it is impossible, but as much as postpone it as much as possible, postpone it, it is difficult to face the reality that one day I will lose 1 billion. Definitely I will lose. Keep it tight. That is the psychology of having a large property. That is why God says, take care of the needy ones and let yourself be a means of God's operation. And it is an opportunity for you to practice how your Creator is generous. Now, while you are giving to zakat, giving to sadaqah, you are practicing your God and acknowledging that He is infinitely generous. That is a training for us. Now, I think, did you read all of them? Charity sadaqah, to regard every blessing bestowed upon us as a gift from God. At the same time, to consider any surplus as a trust. recognizing one's responsibility to distribute it to those in need. This awareness must then be put into practice in the physical world, because we are living in the physical world. We have to practice it intellectually, spiritually, and bodily. For example, even I have to say, tongue, Alhamdulillah, bodily, give it, give it. Now, for example, some people regard the prayer, I can pray, always God is in my heart. Okay, your intellect says this. Why? How can you get satisfaction spiritually if you don't practice it? And you are. You don't say that God is all Razzaq, gives everything infinitely. Yeah, that is fine. So I don't need to feed my body. No, 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 no. I don't want to die. Not bodily, bodily. We are living in this world. So most of the commands of Sharia, I deliberately use this because some people think that it is something really inhuman or unhuman. No, no. Commands of Sharia, giving you the opportunity to practice how you comprehend the creation of the world, how you comprehend it. Practice it with your intellect, with your consciousness, with your spirit, it means sensual world, your feelings, and also with your body, because you are living in this world experiencing bodily. Now, the essence of this charity is to put one's belief in practice, thus experience how the Creator is generous when he feeds all creatures freely. He expects us to admit that the property is given to them by him, and asking them to acknowledge it and put their trust in him alone. Thank you very much. I am done for today, inshallah.
Yeah, Dr. Ali. So a couple of things that stood out to me are how we understand this wajhullah, the countenance or the face of Allah, and what do we mean when we say I'm giving charity or I'm doing X, I'm doing Y for the sake of Allah. It's something that we use all the time. We ask others to do it. Do it for the sake of Allah. Do it, give for the sake of Allah, take for the sake of Allah. So first kind of filling the substance of what this means. And one thing that I understood is that here face, obviously it's metaphorical in the sense that it's looking at the aspect of this action, giving, that looks to God. So like we talked about before, who gave this to me? I have a surplus now. I'm not the owner. I'm not the maintainer. I'm not the sustainer. So in recognizing this reality and then in putting it to practice, that's how I am seeking God's countenance, or the aspect of what I'm doing, what I'm living, looking at God, looking to the face of God. One thing that you said yesterday was how Iman, belief, translates into Amal, right? Our actions. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. And in English, in America, you hear this saying a lot. They say, put your money where your mouth is. If you say things, they say, okay, let's see the action, right? They usually say this if you're saying, oh, this is a really good business, you should invest in it. This is a really good thing, you should give money to it. But it's not just a metaphorical thing. If I believe something, when someone says, okay, put your money where your mouth is, they want to see me doing it. If I'm saying, oh, I believe in Allah, alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim, then I'm told, okay, So live this way so we can see it in your actions. Now, earlier in the first few sessions, if you guys will remember, we did talk about Allah's qualities being manifested in creation. So in this sense, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, practicing sadaqah or zakat is an opportunity for me, right? So that Allah can manifest his qualities through me. So through me, yeah.
Like the tree.
Like the tree, exactly. So he is Ar-Razzaq and he gives me rizq. He gives me providence. He provides for me. And sometimes he gives me extra because he wants me to
Practice.
experience or be a channel so that he can, or a mirror, we say, so that also through me, he can show that name. He is Ar-Razzaq, right? It's not like everyone gets food, nobody needy, everyone's the same level of wealth. There are differences so that we can see the different names of Allah channeling through us or mirroring toward through us, inshallah. So one last thing I want to say is that you mentioned this just briefly, but I think it's worth noting, especially in Ramadan, something about waste, right? When I am living with this consciousness that I'm not the source of existence, that I'm being entrusted with this extra wealth, extra food, extra whatever it may be, then it's so much harder to waste even a grain of rice because I know that it's not being created randomly. It's not coming to me by itself. It's being created deliberately. It's being sent to me with a purpose. It's created so that it can nourish me, sustain me. And I'm saying this especially in Ramadan because many of us may be having iftars and dinners, maybe feasts at mosques and stuff. And we're going there for the sake of Allah and we're fasting for the sake of Allah, but always being conscious or aware that even the smallest thing that Allah is providing for me is coming with this message, right? It's coming as a messenger. It's coming with a special communication for me, inshallah. So,
Inshallah. So fasting is the best opportunity to acknowledge who the owner of the food is. It is in my fridge, in my kitchen, ready, smelling nice, but it's not time acknowledging. No, the owner of this food is saying, wait, acknowledge that you are not the owner, I am the owner. It's the best opportunity to practice this consciousness. So, as contrary to materialist worldview, what they say, as long as you can afford, do it and use it. Yeah? No, not as long as I can afford. As long
it's yours,
as
so you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can buy it, throw it in the trash, throw it in the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing the sanctity of it. I'm seeing it as my own. I produced the crop, so I can throw it away if I want because I want to sell it for more expensive price.
Yeah. That is the contradiction between materialistic worldview and a Quranic worldview. 100% opposite, or let's say diametrically opposite, 180-degree opposite. One of them is east, one of them is west, something. So, alhamdulillah, oh, it's time up. Did you have any pollers that prepared, or maybe tomorrow?
We have one poll, and I
How
think
about
it's a good time to do it. It's about interest, so I'll just launch it so we can see how the audience feels about the discussion today and yesterday. You guys can choose what you have maybe understood from the discussion.
Yeah, it is simple to understand. Everybody must be now ready to 100%. Yeah, yeah. There's no other option. MashaAllah. It means we got it. Alhamdulillah. And inshallah, this will be the method of reading the Quran. Yeah, this is what my aim is, to establish the method of reading the Quran. Now, rather than what we hear here and there. Bismillah ar-Rahman. Shall we stop?
Yes, let's stop,
Inshallah,
inshallah.
end it.
I will end the poll. You can do the prayer, and we'll open the WhatsApp chat for reflections, inshallah.
Inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة. MashaAllah, thank you for our friends who joined and answered the poll as well. A few people answered the poll giving another option as well. Oh, that is the wisdom side of it. They are not wrong, but that is the wisdom. But essential message is what most of the majority of our friends has chosen. So, but this is wisdom side. It must be added to it. But the purpose of the Quran is, of course, to connect between the Creator and human beings. Ubudiyya, which is called. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you, thank you. It's beautiful, moderator, but shall I say, Najat will just stop doing it and Wadi replace you? No.
He joined us midway. Inshallah, he'll be back tomorrow.
Inshallah. Well, thank you.